So this here is where we left off. Now we need to add to do the begin quote request submission. So we'll do this here. I'll click on this. Now the wheel is spinning up there. Okay, now it asks me to log in with my password. Now it should have remembered my password, I would think. Yes. So when I type this in here, I've got this. It types it in, so I just log in. And then the login here, I think we'll get a check mark. See, we've got this. Now they want to know what is our customer. This page here, it might look odd at first, but really what it's asking is this quote is for which customer. So here I'll click in, and we're not going to keep track of customers in the OEMS right now. We'll keep track of the customers only in the Highrise. So here we'll always pick the same customer. It's going to be OEMS. So I click search. Okay, and then I have OEMS customer here. That's what I'm going to take. Click. Okay, so now we've logged in. We have chosen our customer. Now it wants to know what's the event detail. When is it going to be? We know it's December 6th from 7 to 11, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to use the OEMS to keep track of this. All we're going to use the OEMS for is to create the quote. All we want to, if you remember from the introduction, is the cost. Our planning and managing of which event on which date, we'll do this in the Basecamp calendar. So here I will just say review quote request. That's the next step. I just accepted the default for the date. So event detail is done. Now we're really ready to submit the quote. So we can just double check that we have everything. So we have 3 premium blackjack table, 2 premium poker table, 1 premium craps. The numbers look reasonable. And then I will say submit quote request. So I hit this button, and then the wheel is spinning again on top here. And now this is what we get. We get a cart reference. This is cart reference 111, and that's what we're gonna need in the backend. So now let's go to the backend right now. We'll click here to open a new tab, and I'll click here on the OEMS backend. And then here again, I will need to put my email address. It remembers. I click sign me in. And then here we'll need to go in order, and I'll just show you a mistake I sometimes make. If I go here on order and I click on it, it brings me to this page. That's not the page we are trying to get to. We have to go on order, put our mouse over it, and drop down to manage quote. That's where we want to go. Okay, now we have the cart reference 111, 111. That's what we add here. And then here I can say select this quote. So now I'll say create new quote. And then here I will, this is what we've got. We've got our 3 blackjack table, 2 poker tables, and 1 craps table. Now let's say we needed to add, for this example we don't, but let's say we needed to add transportation cost or setup charge, or well, we could say delivery kilometers. Let's say there, if it was for Edmonton, then we could say 600 times $1. And actually I think that oh, looks like we have a pause here. So here we have 600 times $1. I think your default here is $1.20. So I'll put 120 for your kilometers. 1.2. I will recalculate. Don't hit enter. It doesn't do the right thing. Just recalculate here. Click this, and then we've got 720. And then we could add more things here. It takes a while to reload every time. Now here I could go back and I add a, let's say, a setup and breakdown fee of, let's say, $200. So we'll just go through this so you see how it works. And then I could add another one. Let's say I needed to give them a discount. How would I do this? Well, I could say this like this, and I could say 1. minus $50, and then look at the thing here. Actually, let's minus 438, minus 4, actually let's minus 275 here before tax. Submit. So now we have this minus 275. It brings it to an even number. So here is how that works. Now we don't need discount, we don't need setup and breakdown, and we don't need delivery kilometers. So we'll just X them out. Are you sure you want to delete this? Yes. Same thing here. Same thing here. Now let's see here. Now we need to save this this as a draft. I'll click this here, but this is going to give me a dialog box because that's kind of an error. We'll go through it because it might happen to you too. When I click on this here, it says please enter quote name, and the reason why it says that is because we don't have a quote name here. Let's just call it 111 here because that's the cart number, and valid until we have to pick a date. Let's just pick any date here because we're not using this feature. This feature is not fully implemented at this point. We'll use Highrise and Basecamp to keep track of those things. Actually, we'll use only Highrise for this valid until. And then, so that's it. Now I can click Save Draft. It's going to work this time. So now we've got this draft here. Now let's say I want to see it again. Let's go through this again. I'll go back to Orders. And again, that's the wrong place. So Manage Quote. Now that I've gone to 111 here, I'll click Select here. We've done it once. Now I don't need to say create new quote. I can just say exit this quote. Now it shows me this quote here, and now I'm gonna print this here. So I'll right click this here and print. What I want to do is print the file. So you might have a PDF printer installed on your computer. If you don't, you can use this XPS document writer. I'll click on this. I'll say print, and it asks me where I want to put it. I'll put it on the desktop, and I will call this quote 111. I will say save, and then now I will go down to this, to the desktop, and I will need to bring this in. And actually, let's go back here. I will go back to here. You see, we were here in this quote. Now I'll go back to Highrise, and I'm gonna add this quote in here. That's what we're trying to do here. So if I was not here, I would find it from the contacts. Click, and then pick James Robinson. So now I'm gonna add a note, and then to add a note here, we will attach file. So show options. I will say browse. Let's go to the desktop here. I'm already on the desktop, and then quote 111, and I will say open. So I've added this here, and then I can just put this here, OEMS quote 111, and then I will say add this note, and I could email this note if I wanted to, but I'm not interested in that. I just want to keep track of it. So add this note. Now that we've got this, we're able to come back here and click on this, and it says a website wants to open web content. Let's say allow for this time, and we're able to see this here. If it was a PDF, it should probably work better, but we're able to see our quote from this here. So I will go back here. So that's how we've done all the green part of our chart, from building a cart, submitting the cart, going in the OEMS backend, creating the quote, and then printing it and saving it into Highrise. So that ends this part of the tutorial.